Top right, I think I should call A7 suited. We saw him 3-bet King 4 offsuit earlier, and I'm a little bit suspicious of him in his 3-betting range, and happy to see I did. On this flop, I think it's probably worth just a fold. It just not a board that I expect him to c-bet too wide in the first place, and my hand's got very little equity when I'm behind. And even if I am ahead, he's likely got a lot of outs anyways, so. And yeah, I think this is a good 3-bet. I think that's too large on the top left, but I think it's still a good 3-bet. And top right, not much to say. Very happy sticking it in here. And yeah, check raising on the bottom right and going with it with these stack sizes, I think is a good play. I make a loose call with ace-6 offsuit there, but yeah, like I said, he's only raising the 2.5x, so I don't mind it. Or I don't mind calling lighter than I would normally. I don't know if ace-6 is a little too late. Turn, I think it's a call. He's barreling that turn a lot, and I do have some showdown value and a gut shot, but I'm going to get into a lot of dicey spots on the river. If I knew that he was like an alright player, not a great player, okay, I would, if I knew that he was alright but not great, I would call the river with ace high on most rivers, because he's just going to barrel the turn so wide, and if he bets like 50% of what his turn barreling range is on the river, I'm going to have a profitable call with ace high. But I don't really know what level this guy's on. Like, it just looks like such an obvious bluff spot that if he is pretty good, he wouldn't be bluffing in it too much. But I river the ace, and now I've got a call, because he could still value bet the king, or maybe go super thin with like pocket eights or something. And yeah, he had pocket queens, and he was thinking of value betting that. I think it would have been a good value bet on his part, because I would have probably called him if I had worse than pocket queens there. And it's definitely an indication of being a good player that he's thinking about betting there. I mean, it's not a super thin value bet, but certainly if he was a weaker player, he would have just snap checked. Top right, I make a light peel on the flop with ace-jack, but we saw him paw control earlier with king 4, so it means that his c-betting range is probably going to be a little bit more polarized, and I'm not going to be kind of getting owned by a hand like pocket sixes or 5-4 suited as often, so I don't mind flatting here. And I'm just going to have to stick at the stack in, most likely. Just call him down, although not feeling too great about it. Top left, yeah, I'm not feeling great about this if he jams the river. I don't know. I might even find a fold. He's just been really straightforward, and I don't really see him jamming worse than ace-jack too often. Top left, interesting decision whether or not to check raise or check call. I think you could go either way. You know, I guess there are two schools of thought early on in a match. Should you try and play a little bit more straightforwardly and feel someone out, or are people just going to be suspicious of you early on and therefore you should try and make moves? I don't know. Could go either way. Top right, he checks to me, and I think I've got the best hand most of the time here, so I decided to put in a small value bet and just hope to get a crying call out of maybe a worse ace, or maybe he has a 10 that played weird, or pocket jacks or something. I think betting that size is probably best. Top left, I'm just going to check call him down. And I think he's not going to bluff the river if I check to him, so I think I should just bet and hope he puts me on a busted draw and calls, but he doesn't. And I get a little bit of 5-10 action. I think 5-10 action lasted like all of 2 hands or something, which is pretty standard. But we'll see. Yeah, so pretty solid 5-10 match there. I'm glad you guys were able to get a little bit of 5-10 action in on this video. Bottom left, I don't mind 3-betting. Top right, I think I should 3-bet here. So this guy wants to play more tables, but he seems like a pretty good player, and I've got some weaker players on 3 other tables, so I say not right now. Which is pretty standard. I mean, for the most part, if I'm playing a regular, even if I'm multi-tabling him, if I get better action from a weaker player, you know, I'll tell the regular straight up that I'm going to choose a weaker player over a regular. Because in the end, I'm playing poker to make money and not to prove how good I am or anything like that.